Welcome back to Hawkseye, the Center for Air Power Studies video podcast. My name is Shantanu Roy Chaudhary and I'm a research associate at the center. Today we have with us Dr. Manpreet Sethi, distinguished fellow at CAPS and an expert on missiles and nuclear matters, to talk to us about hypersonic missiles. Ma'am, there's a sudden buzz about hypersonics, the technologies and the missiles. What exactly is going on and what is the significance of this technology?
Thank you, Shantanu, for having me here. You're right, there is a buzz about hypersonics, and I think what we are seeing today is a lot of testing programs that have been accelerated on this particular technology. Some news about induction of missiles, which we heard from Russia in the end of 2019, saying that they have now inducted hypersonic missiles. And we are also seeing in the case of the US, the move from the research to the development phase of the program. And we see all of these three countries. In fact, even in India, there was, a media report suggesting that India had conducted the test of a hypersonic missile. All of this effort is going towards trying to get themselves to intercept or to penetrate or to evade possibilities of interception. So what we have seen is, with the coming in of ballistic missile defense, Russia and China both have felt that their nuclear deterrence is going to be eroded. So if they have to get into a highly densely protected environment, then they must have missiles that can penetrate in there. And the advantage that you're getting with hypersonics is essentially maneuverability with speed. It's not as if the hypersonic capability was not there in the ballistic missiles. The ballistic missiles too are hypersonic, especially once they re-enter the atmosphere and are heading towards the target. But ballistic missiles have a predictable trajectory. Whereas in the case of hypersonic missiles, you're looking at either glide vehicles or cruise missiles, which are hypersonic through the phase of their cruise. So in that process then, they become very difficult to intercept. And it's essentially to protect themselves against missile defense that countries are going in for hypersonic capabilities now, and you hear this noise about hypersonics.
Right. And so since we are talking about the missiles, what kind of warheads would these missiles be carrying?
So any delivery system can be mated with any kind of a warhead. And what we have heard in the case of hypersonics is, for instance, the US suggests that it's going to put only conventional warheads on its hypersonic missiles. But what Russia has inducted and publicized is a nuclear warhead on its hypersonic missiles. And China, as usual, since it likes to keep the ambiguity on many of these and advertises a lot of its missiles in dual use mode, has not been very clear about whether it's going to be conventional or nuclear, and it could be dual use. So the ambiguity about the possibility of warheads on hypersonics remains as of now.
Right, and following on from the ambiguity, what complications do you foresee that can arise with the induction of hypersonics?
So the problems that are coming with hypersonics is that it's going to be inducted into countries which are already nuclear weapon possessors. And with the ambiguity of whether a missile which is coming at you is whether it's mated with a conventional or a nuclear warhead, and because of the ambiguity about the destination of such a missile, because it can maneuver, you are not sure about where it's going to come and hit you. So in nuclear possessing countries, when you have these kinds of ambiguities coming in with the hypersonic missiles, the problem of strategic stability gets extremely problematic, because the tendency would be to assume the worst. Once your early warning systems have picked up a missile coming, you're not sure where it's headed, and you would assume that it could be going for your nuclear assets, and therefore there would be a tendency among countries to lower the postures that they have, alert level postures. So that is where one level of problems come in. A second problem I think here is about getting into the offense-defense spiral, because you are going to counter the ballistic missile defense with hypersonics, but countries, especially the US, is already strengthening its ballistic missile defense or bringing up countermeasures to hypersonics. So you get into an offense-defense spiral. And thirdly, I think this will get us into weaponization of space very quickly, because interceptors to hypersonic missiles will have to have sensors and interceptors both in space. So there are these three kinds of complications that I see immediately coming from the time that countries begin to deploy their hypersonic capability.
Wow, this really is a truly fascinating topic. Thank you very much for your insights, ma'am. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more such videos.